Hello, welcome back to Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts. There's a new build out for the 1.6 beta patch, and we're looking at it now, and we're going to look at a couple of things. First of all, what's this battleship? Well, it's just a quick design. It doesn't have any secondary guns, for a reason. But first of all, we're going to see what's happening with accuracy modifiers for shell weight and propellants in this version of the game. You will remember the video well, you might remember the video I uploaded, it's a couple of weeks ago now, I think, where we looked at what happened if you picked light shells and triple base for your battleships. And that seems to no longer be a problem. Last time I tried this, my ship had past like half its maximum range, 0% accuracy. That means absolutely no chance of hitting its intended target. And I'm gonna just provide a link to that video in the description below, unless I forget. And that seems to no longer be the problem. Now you can actually hit things. So, for example, let's take a look at accuracy at 40,000 meters, triple base, light shells. We're looking at 1.1 and 2.2 with HE and AP. Switch that to tube powder at 40,000 meters, 1.2, 1.2. Okay, so a little bit better with HE, a little bit worse with AP. Yeah, 1.1, 2.2, down to... Come on, show me the 1.2 and 1.2. With super heavy shells, the other end of the spectrum, we're looking at 2 and 2. So slightly better than with the light shells and super heavy shells, and triple base we're looking at 2 and 2.9. So triple base actually has a place now, again, like it used to have. You get worse flash fire chance than with tube powder. That is the drawback, but you get more range and actually a little bit more accuracy. For this though, I think we're gonna go tube powder. Just look at what happens to the flash fire chance. 6.9 is a lot better than 28.7. So I still think it's still worth taking tube powder just for that reason. But there's an argument to be made that triple base has its place, as it should have. It should at least be viable. So also, let's check. What does barrel length give us? Well, we still have some accuracy. 2 and 3% at 40,000 meters. With triple base, we're looking at 2.9, 3.9. So getting really good now with the accuracy. Of course, really long barrels do have drawbacks. You can see one of them right here. My ship is now overweight because they are heavier, and reload time has climbed up to 84.5 seconds. Combine it with light shells, we're looking at 2.2 and 3.4 versus 2.9 and 3.9. So I still think super heavy shells are flat out better than light shells, but again, look at the reload time, 68.5 seconds versus 84.5 seconds. So that strips almost 20 seconds off your reload going to light shells. Let's see, if we minimize the barrel length, minus 20%, very stubby. Okay, we no longer have we can no longer reach 40 kilometers, so let's do a little bit more sensible here. Minus 10%. There we go. 2%, 2% at 40,000 meters. With these very stubby barrels. I think for these guns, I would probably, if I was going to build a ship that I was going to use, go with 55 caliber length, 2 and 2.9% accuracy at 40,000 meters. And I'm just using 40,000 as a benchmark here, because depending on my choice of ammunition and propellants, if I was looking at 50,000 meters, that would maybe no longer be a range achievable. For example, with tube powder, well, now it is that I lengthened my barrels. But another drawback of longer barrels is your deck penetration. You can see here it maxes out at 35,000 meters, 36 inches of deck pen. If I had maximized my barrel length, it tops out at 30 inches at 35,000 meters. So it's a little bit worse, but still pretty good. If I also had triple base, deck pen maxes out at 28 inches at 35,000 meters, and with light shells we're looking at 24.5, also at 30,000 meters. That's kind of strange that the maximum deck penetration is at 35,000 meters in all cases. I'm not sure if that's intentional. It should ideally just be going up and up, up until your maximum range, I think. But that's just how the game is. Anyway, I would go tube powder and super heavy shells, and maybe like a 7% barrel length increase. That, I think, is reasonable for a gun like that. Now, let's see. Just quickly change my 4-weight offset. I'm playing vanilla now, of course, because we're testing out the new patch. Oh, didn't mean to move the funnel. That's kind of a weakness that these German ship hulls have. Unless you pick the ugly rear tower, which I will never do, unless I really have to. You can only fit one funnel, and it's here on the main tower, so you do end up with a bit of a 4-weight offset. But that's not really what we're testing here. So, what are we testing? Other than looking at the gun accuracy things, which seem to have been fixed. Well, I also designed an enemy ship that we're gonna face and play as. I'm gonna do multiple tests here. That's the well, it's British. It should be the HMS. Can I not? Okay. I cannot put a space in between here, so that's just what it's going to be named. And as you can guess by the name, this is a flamethrower ship. I give it 10-inch guns because they had really good reload. Quad guns, lots of them. We're looking at picric acid and incendiary HE shells. And what we're gonna see now, I think I set the starting range to like 9,000 meters. Of course, the drawback of this kind of ship is that it does not have a lot of range. The German ship we just looked at would, if we started at like 60 kilometers, would just shoot this out of the water before it even got into range. But that's not the test here, because we know that's the case. What we're gonna see is how long it takes the HMS Firebug to burn down the Brandenburg. I'm gonna turn my guns off. And why I don't have any secondaries on this, and it's got pretty decent armor all around. As you can see, there are no surfaces on this ship that are unarmored. Quite a few parts of it are very heavily armored for what they are, like the fore and aft deck, 4 inches and 6 on the superstructure. That's pretty hefty. I want to give this the best chance of surviving that it can have, other than not taking hits though. So we're just gonna see how long can it survive. There's this 1.6 beta patch flamethrower ships. Let's just wait for it to find its mark. There we go. Because this latest version of the 1.6 beta patch, it has made some changes to how fire spreads compared to previous versions of 1.6. So now fire shouldn't spread uncontrollably unless my structure gets really low. So we're gonna see if this is still quite broken, this kind of firebug build. Or if it's just another kind of ship you can build, but maybe shouldn't. It's not scoring a lot of hits. Surprisingly, I gave it a veteran crew, and we're quite close. It might be down to the AI not really getting close enough. It's the range on these not really that impressive. Well, so far I've survived almost 10 minutes. You know what? They don't want to get closer. I'm just gonna drive over to them. I should have turned the other way. Anyway, crew loss, not too bad. Again, I don't have any secondary guns on this. If I did, crew loss might have been worse. And I might have been taking more damage. Partial pens seem to not be catastrophic in terms of what kind of damage they do. Let's really get into the worst case scenario here. I'm finding myself close to it. It seems to like to keep its range. That's just how the AI is. If we were playing with Brother Munro's Dreadnought Improvement Project, this guy would have liked to find itself much closer, but we already know that that mod has done things to how HE and fires work. And I want to test how HE and fires work on vanilla, because that's kind of the issue, or it has been. So we've survived almost 20 minutes, and yeah, not really taking a lot of damage. Of course, if I turned my guns on, this thing might have been sunk already. Are we gonna outlive its ammunition supply? Kind of final reload time. Yeah, 19.7 second reload on these 10-inch guns. It's firing API. It's running away. I stupidly made it slightly faster than my my German ship. I'm just gonna pull. Let's see. Never mind. I'm just gonna slow down, and it's gonna keep the range it wants to keep anyway. I think it's gonna hit me more if I just stay stationary, right? Not even in secondary range. Did give this thing some secondaries. 7 and 8-inch guns, 5-inch guns. Almost at 10% crew loss. Which isn't bad. There we go, the 8-inch guns have opened up. Gonna be looking at some 7-inch action soon. Yeah, I'm still here. Oh, it's retreating again. And it's loading AP now because it ran out of HE. Okay, let's we've given this 30 minutes of uninterrupted fire. Let's see how the Brandenburg can deal with it. This is also a super battleship, by the way. British one, though. Although I will say, this being a German super battleship, it does have that amazing resistance stat, giving it some damage reduction. But again, I wanted to give this the best chance of surviving the high explosive spam. And this video was something I thought up while at work. And at that time, I didn't know there was a new version of the beta patch out. So I thought I would just be demonstrating how broken fires are, but instead I seem to be demonstrating how it's not broken. Don't worry, we're gonna do, after this is done, gonna do another little test where I play as the British ship, the Firebug, and try to sink the Brandenburg. And in that case, I will be getting closer in, a little bit more aggressive than the AI is being. Come on, Brandenburg. Land those hits. Do we have a lot of no, where's the damage instability stat? Does Firebug have damage instability? Yeah, you got 20%. I do not. Have they done something to damage instability? Because I've taken a bunch of hits. Oh, Firebug is completely out of ammo now. So, yeah, it turns out you can survive high explosive spam. And this even has increased ammo. To the point that the high explosive spammer will just run out of ammunition. At least in this case. Not doing a whole lot of damage in return. That's kind of surprising. There we go. So I survived just fine for 30 minutes being shot at by the firebug. And we're 20 minutes into sinking the firebug. Seems to be going somewhat well. There you go, scoring some hits with each volley. Not the hugest hits, but still. Also, one thing they fixed in a micro patch, I think it was yesterday, enemy ships are now identified immediately. You don't have to wait for them to be like 100% identified. It just happens at the start of the match. And that was apparently to fix the lag issue where in the past when you were hovering over a ship like this, the game would kind of stutter, and that seems to no longer be the case. Still haven't tried it out to see if it makes any difference in a larger battle, but it seems at least here yeah, I can just hover over the target and the game doesn't stutter, so that's a nice little thing. Firebug still not dead. My ammo about to run out. Give myself standard ammo though. I didn't think I would need a lot more. What happens if I load HE now and score some big caliber HE hits? You see, it's taking now crew losses because it's taken a lot of structure damage. Seems it's got fires under control. There you go, a fire is burning. Crew loss is going up from the fire spreading. And at this point I'm going through the aft belt with my my big 18-inch HE. And I think the firebug is done for. Give it a couple more salvos and then we're gonna switch teams and see. No, actually I think HE was more effective, so let's just go with that. That should be the end. Yeah, the crew loss surrender threshold is now 65% instead of 45%. It's somehow still alive. Barely. We're gonna give it one more salvo. All the fires are actually burning down the structure. And there she goes. Well, let's take a quick look at the post-game stats. Damage received 1.7 thousand. We took 137 hits. Not really that many hits. They took 95 hits. 95 out of 402, 137 out of 2,208. So, let's switch the teams. There we go, Germany and Britain. And we're actually just going to shorten the range. 5,000 meters. Can I burn it down now? Of course, this time the AI will not turn its guns off. It's just not gonna happen. Anything else I can do to make this ship a little bit more survivable? I don't think so. I think it's good. Let's see if we can win. Should in theory be somewhat evenly matched. It's the biggest British super battleship hull versus the biggest German one. The German one isn't even maxed out, but it is bigger. There you go. The Firebug at 5.6 kilometers. Our secondaries are opening up. Can we burn it down? Scoring a lot more hits this time. It's got lots of fires burning. Let's see. Just gonna have a nice little thumbnail. There we go. So it's got a lot of fires raging all over. But of course, it does bite back. And just with that one salvo, it's done more damage than I've done. But I'm causing more crew damage. We are 5 minutes in. And these two super battleships are just pounding each other to dust, or ashes in this case. Crew loss on the Brandenburg, 25% on the Firebug. I'm taking a lot more flooding. That could be a problem. 49% crew loss. Flooding, and the Firebug sinks. So that's 2 for 2 for the German. Although we did a lot more damage to it, but that's really absolute worst case scenario for the Brandenburg. British super battleship just teleporting within 5 kilometers of it. So let's go with a actually let's go with a squadron of light cruisers. 8 of them. And we're gonna go small caliber guns. Lots of them. Let's see. I guess it doesn't really matter which one we go with. This one looks fine, I guess. Doesn't need to be that fast. Not with what we're going for. huge tower. That's better. It's even got a built-in barbette. Where do I place funnels on this? I don't think I've built anything on this. Can I not place one? Yeah, I can place that one. Oh. Like so. Let's just quickly let's go with diesels because we're playing vanilla and diesels are nice. What are we gonna go for with main guns? 6-inch? Or go for the tiniest ones, 5-inch guns. See how many 5-inch guns we can cover this ship with. I can even put them on the side here. Don't think we're gonna need a lot of armor. I don't think any armor you can put on a light cruiser is gonna matter much when the enemy is shooting at you with 18-inch battleship guns. We're gonna have some protection though, but really it's all about seeing how quickly we can burn down that battleship. I need increased shells. Well, let's go with triple base in this case and perchloric acid. These are very, very short. 37 caliber length. Oh, they should give me a decent rate of fire though. And radar. I kind of 5.9 second reload. Yeah, that's pretty good. Actually, I think my best bet here is to just hope the enemy over penetrates. We're a little bit overweight. We can probably fix that somehow. Shafts are heavy, aren't they? Reduce the barbette thing. What about standard shells? Okay, still a little bit overweight. I guess we don't need to be that fast either. Pitch is horrible. There we go. Citadel 3. Yeah, the survivability is not going to be its strongest suit, but what we're testing for is how fast we can burn it down, if we even can. Let's go. And this is a kind of matchup that in previous versions of vanilla would result in one dead, very crispy battleship. I'm even gonna be so lame as to smoke up. My light cruisers so they don't get hit too much. That's a lot of fire going out. Is this still a problem? Of course, now this battleship doesn't have any secondary guns, which in this case it could really use. There we go, extensive fire in 2 minutes. Okay, let's modify the match here. Give it a little bit better chance. Because ideally it would be probably spotting my light cruisers at, well, more than 30 kilometers, but say it's a campaign mission, right? You have your battleship alone run into a task force of 8 light cruisers. They're probably going to start at 30,000 meters. Let's add some secondaries to the Brandenburg. Give it slightly more chance of defending itself. Let's remove that stuff, save some weight. Wow, that was heavy. That was really heavy. Secondary guns. Put some 8-inch guns here. Very nice. They got enough armor. It's probably not going to matter much when they're just being shot at by 5-inch guns anyway. 6-inch guns don't fit on the upper barbettes here, but these 5-inch guns do. Let's just make them slightly longer. 45s, I guess. There we go. Decent range, decent reload. What kind of... These are 38s. Let's at least make them 40s. Right? Yeah. Okay. So that is the enemy battleship. Let's also give it spacious quarters, because now it's got some crew stations here that are a little bit less protected. I could probably give it some 3-inch guns or 2-inch guns too, but I'm not gonna bother. Let's see, can we burn it down now? We burned it down pretty quickly in that last test. But then again, that was 8 light cruisers spawning in at 5 kilometers. There we go. We're just gonna get closer to that battleship. Has it spotted us yet? 32 kilometers. I think it has. Yeah. We are visible. We just have to get closer. 5-inch guns have a range of 11 kilometers. Perth has taken a hit. Perth is flooding out. So that's potentially one dead light cruiser already. I guess we're kind of evenly matched in terms of cost. Birmingham takes a hit. Birmingham is no more. 14 kilometers. We're starting to take secondary fire now. could have made these a little bit faster for the second test, but now we are firing. Firing, but we're also being fired upon. Last time it lasted 2 minutes. We've got fewer light cruisers remaining this time. We've already lost a couple. Got a lot of fires raging. Chatham goes down. Flora, last remaining ship of that squadron. And she's lagging behind. She's taking flooding. Brandenburg has lost 50% structure, 30% crew. Gonna be extensive fire soon. These big 18-inch guns are turning around, getting ready to delete one of my light cruisers. Barracuda just had most of her hull disintegrate. There we go. She's dead. Brandenburg still hanging in there, down to 27% structure. Crew losses are mounting, 55%. Now the fires are starting to consume crew members. Foresight goes down. Perth. Oh, I was about to say still doing well. So it's just the Flora remaining. I'm gonna smoke up, give her a slightly better chance of surviving a little bit longer. Brandenburg has 195 fires burning. Most of her hull is already turned into molten steel. I don't know if Parkric acid can melt steel beams. There she goes, surrendered. So this is technically a victory. Flora was still alive, but yeah. So that was fires and crew loss in 1.6 beta. Let's see. Let's read the patch notes here. Improved side guns targeting mechanisms. Okay. Auto target much more efficiently. I believe that when I see it. Fixed inconsistencies of gun splashes mechanics and rebalanced. Now the gun splashes play a more significant role in the ship's overall accuracy and make stereoscopic rangefinders more distinct. Okay. Various balances in gun reload rates and accuracy tables. Always faithful to historical data. Well, I didn't see anything too ugly in that short little test, but various balances in the ship damage model, ship blah 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 blah. Crew losses surrender threshold increased from 40 to 65%. It was actually 45%, not 40. Just for your information, developer. Campaign's economy balance to be stricter. Building too many battleships should now be very hard. Like previously, early campaign economy was already very strict. Late campaign was when you really started rolling in money and could build whatever you wanted. And battle AI improved to follow the new balance and is now more opportunistic, as a good player would be. Okay. Anyway, that was a short little test, or a couple of tests actually. I hope you found them somewhat informative. I don't know if it was even that short. Let's see. Shorter than one of my regular campaign videos would have been. So, yeah, I think it kind of works almost as intended. Not really the takeaway I was expecting here, but as I said, when I thought of making this video, I didn't know there was a another recent update. So I was kind of expecting to have the opposite takeaway here, but no, it seems fires and HE damage is not too broken, actually. Goodbye, and take care.